Welcome to this lesson on how to measure customer satisfaction. In this presentation, we will look at a range of approaches and tools you can use to measure customer satisfaction in your organization. In this unit, we will look at the benefits of collecting customer feedback, a framework for measuring and managing customer satisfaction, and tools for measuring customer satisfaction. There are several benefits of implementing a feedback process. Feedback gives your customers and your team a way to resolve problems with your product, service, or organization. If set up correctly, it allows continuous feedback. Many organizations collect feedback from their teams or customers only once a year. But collecting feedback should be a constant process, not an occasional event. An effective feedback process gives you the data that you need to create real, lasting improvement. Team morale, product quality, and an organization's reputation may all improve as a result. An effective process helps organizations act on the feedback that they receive. This, in turn, can create a strong bond between the organization and its employees and customers. Before you set up a process of collecting customer feedback, you need to ask yourself, why are we doing this? Why do we need this information? Who needs the information? What can we do with this information? Will we actually use it? Note, there is no point in collecting customer feedback and measuring satisfaction if you cannot use the information collected. When collecting feedback from customers, we suggest you use a structured approach like the one outlined here. The first step is to define products or services and customers. The next step is to identify the drivers of satisfaction. Next, you will need to develop measurement and data gathering tools. Then, you want to analyze and report the results. And finally, the plan for improvement. The first step in developing a feedback process should be to have a clear perspective on your products and services. Examples of organization products and services and customers for a municipality are given below. You will need to be very clear on what services you want to ask your customers about. The next step is to identify the drivers of customer satisfaction. The key drivers of customer satisfaction are those factors that most influence customer satisfaction for a particular service or product. Here is a list of typical drivers of customer satisfaction. Do these apply to your organization, or do you need to identify different drivers? A useful tool to help you identify drivers of customer satisfaction is a driver map. This is rather like a tree diagram, with the ultimate outcome being high customer satisfaction. In the example below, we can see that staff competence is high on the driver tree, as major determinant of customer satisfaction. This requires training and mentoring on the job. In addition, it also requires effective recruitment and good levels of employee satisfaction. Getting feedback from your customer is a good way to understand what you are doing right and what else you can do better. Getting to know your customer also allows you to anticipate their needs. There are a number of formal ways to gather feedback from your customer. Formal channels are established methods that have sequential steps and proper documentation. Some examples of feedback through formal channels are comment cards, mystery audits, focus groups, and customer satisfaction questionnaires. Comment cards are useful for instant feedback. For example, after a customer leaves the restaurant or the beauty salon. Comment cards should be oriented around the customer experience, and should ask simple questions and provide simple multiple-choice answers. Areas that are chosen for comments should be key areas that are crucial to your business. For example, in a restaurant, key areas could be food quality or cleanliness of the restaurant. Another channel for collecting customer feedback is the mystery audit. Mystery audits aim to test the conduct of employees in a normal situation, as well as challenging situations, such as handling customer complaints, or special requests that may occur on a daily basis. This form of feedback is useful when employees have been on the job for some time, and are familiar with company's standard operating procedures and policies. A template for the mystery audit forms can be found in the references. A variant of the mystery audit is mystery shopping, which we'll discuss in the next slide. So, how does mystery shopping work? A business typically hires a mystery shopping company to evaluate their services. And the mystery shopping company, in turn, hires shoppers to perform those evaluations. Shoppers are given a list of things to evaluate during the shop. This may include how long it takes to be greeted, the speed of service, the cleanliness of the location, compliance with company standards, such as dress code, signs, greetings, etc. Listening for specific services to be offered. Names or descriptions of employees. After completing a shop, the shopper submits her evaluation and receipts. Payment is typically made 1 to 8 weeks after submission of a successful shop. You may also want to organize a focus group to gather in-depth feedback on your products or services. Focus groups are useful in helping you identify key areas of improvement and areas in which the organization is doing well. Focus groups bring a small number of people, usually 6 to 12 customers, together to discuss research questions and generate information about their feelings and opinions, as well as their reasons for those opinions, attitudes, and beliefs. Customer panels are similar to focus groups, but provide ongoing feedback on customer service. Here are some suggested questions that you may use in a focus group discussion. What did you like or dislike about our products and services? You might ask, can you please elaborate further if an explanation is not sufficiently detailed? This question will help you to pinpoint the specific area of improvement. You might ask, how can we improve our products and services to serve you better? This question will facilitate an understanding of what your customers expect from your products and services. You might ask, are there products or services from other organizations that you particularly like or were particularly impressed with? Or, what was your best or most memorable experience with an employee of an organization? The final method of collecting feedback is the use of a customer satisfaction questionnaire. There are a number of benefits in conducting customer surveys. The first is direct feedback. Customer satisfaction surveys can be a highly effective method of gaining feedback from your customers on various aspects of your business. Surveys are also repeatable. You can run the survey every so often in order to continue to gain feedback. Because surveys can have the same questions, this will allow you to compare data over time and see if there are any changes. Surveys also have the benefit of anonymity. It is easy to ensure customer anonymity when completing a survey, particularly if it is online. The final advantage of questionnaires is ease of use. Technologies are available on almost every web content management system to develop customer satisfaction surveys. There are, of course, a number of downsides of customer surveys. The first is survey overload. Your customers might already be bombarded with online surveys. Privacy issues. Because of insecurities of releasing private information, customers today are hesitant in giving out information that may lead to more junk email and unwanted calls. Data analysis. Analyzing the data may be much more difficult than designing the survey. And finally, using the data. Collecting data is easy, using it to improve may be much more difficult. And most important, don't ask if you can't do anything about it. Here are some tips in developing a questionnaire. Use a Likert scale. Include a variety of questions, such as overall satisfaction, drivers of customer satisfaction, customer characteristics, open-ended questions. Remember to keep it short. If it is by online or mail, keep it between 5 and 10 minutes. If it is by telephone, it can be between 5 and 20 minutes. If it is a paper survey, at the point of service, we suggest you limit the survey to 2 to 5 minutes. The following recommendations should be considered when conducting customer surveys. The customer sample. You should aim to reach a random, or representative sample of your customers in gathering the information you need. Pre-testing. The survey instrument should be pre-tested with a small number of customers to make sure the questions make sense, are relevant, and provide useful information. Give advance notice and send reminders. Getting a large number of surveys completed requires diligent contact and follow-up. Emails preceding a survey and periodic email reminders help get sufficient response to emailed or online surveys. Scheduling. Holidays should be considered when scheduling surveys. For example, it is more difficult to obtain a good response to a survey conducted in late November and December. And finally, translation. You may need to have your survey translated into several languages, particularly if you are providing public sector services in a multilingual context. We now come to the data analysis and reporting stage, which can be the most challenging. Here are 10 very basic guidelines on data analysis. You should know the information you want to present before you design your survey. You should also know how you will analyze the data before you select your questions. Results are best presented in graphical format, histograms, pie charts, etc. Results need to be interpreted. Cross-correlation of results is helpful. For example, 68% of those aged over 65 prefer the silver service. But cross-correlation can be very time-consuming. Be careful when drawing conclusions. You should say, Result X suggests that, rather than, it is obvious that. Be cautious about what you claim the results show. You should also link data analysis to improvement recommendations, a call for action. For example, results X point to a need for us to do XXX. Be aware that timeliness matters. Get your report out as quickly as possible after the survey. Also ensure all key stakeholders receive copies or updates on the survey findings, including your customers and your employees. Finally, reporting results should be followed by action planning. Here is an example of customer satisfaction for a range of municipal services, with some observations. Some of these are acceptable observations, and some are not. Can you see why? Overall, customer satisfaction has declined since 2009. This is a reasonable observation. The community is least satisfied with housing services. This is also a reasonable observation. Health services have the highest level of community satisfaction. Again, this is a reasonable observation. The municipality does not seem to care much for older people. This is not a reasonable observation, and would be impossible to substantiate from this data. Knowing what makes your customers happy, why they buy, why they stay loyal, and what makes them unhappy, or even angry, will make your life as a leader in providing service to customers a lot easier. Collecting this information can be quite easy, and can be done informally through the use of customer feedback cards, or the use of simple questions at the end of each transaction. Where things have gone well, don't forget to recognize and, if possible, reward your staff. You will find some templates to help you collect customer feedback in the references. There are a number of activities complete for this unit. Take the time to complete these in your manual. In this way, you will better learn from and retain the knowledge covered in this unit. Thank you for watching this lesson. We hope you have found it useful. Visit our website to view our range of courses on managing customer service.